Chapter 11, grade 7 math. This chapter is on solving equations. Chapter 10 was on patterns and expressions, and this builds on that chapter. This chapter 11 builds on chapter 10 really, really well. So now instead of just dealing with expressions, we're also dealing with equations. Okay, and this chapter, if everything was good in chapter 10, I think this one will go very, very smoothly. So at the very beginning here, I just want to go over the similarity and difference between an expression and an equation. Okay, so first of all, an expression, which you should know very well, is any single number or variable or a combination of both of those. Okay, so for example, here's a combination. We got a number, a variable, some operation, and then even another number. Okay, this one right here, we've got a variable and a number. Same here, 2f, that means 2 times f. And here, we get n squared. I got 2 operations in that one. But even if you have a number by itself, that's still referred to as an expression. Or if you have a variable all by itself, it likewise is still considered an expression. Now, it's a very easy jump from expression to equation, because an equation contains 2 expressions that have the same value. Okay, and because they have the same value, in an equation, you're always going to see an equal sign, because equal means it's the same on both sides. So if we look at this one, x plus 2 equals 3. So I'm going to use a different color, so that x plus 2 is the same value as 3. And down the road, you're going to figure out, oh, well, then x must be 1, because 1 plus 2 is 3, and they're balanced, right? It's equal on both sides. Likewise, we got y minus 7 has the same value as minus 4. So that means y must be a positive 3. So 3 take away 7 gives you a negative 4. Likewise, over here, 3a minus 2 has the same value as 7. Okay, so a in this case must be, I think it's, what the heck is it? 0.5, I think. No. 3 times 2 is 9. Oh, 3. A is 3. Anyways, we'll get to all that stuff later on. So an equation is 2 expressions, and they are equal. So in an equation, at this level anyway, you're always going to see an equal sign. Always, always, always. That's your biggest indicator that you're dealing with an equation as opposed to an expression. Now, if we look at some of these examples, there's some really good examples of how to deal with stuff. So you're going to be looking at diagrams such as this one. We dealt with some of these in the last chapter. And you're going to write them as equations. Sometimes they'll throw an expression in there just to make sure you're paying attention. But in here we have one variable, and we can use x to represent the variable. It doesn't really matter. So we have 1x plus 3 equals, there's our equal sign. And then over here, we've got 7. Okay. So in this chapter, you're going to be asked to go from a diagram, right? It's not always this kind of diagram. They might use integer disks. They might use various things. And you're going to have to come up with the equation. They also may give you the equation and then have you come up with a diagram. Okay. Now it asks you about, okay, well, how many counters must be in the cup? But honestly, it's not really important right now that we deal with that. Okay. Now, they're also going to give you, let me just change colors, because I like to change colors. They're going to give you a description, right here, a description in words, a phrase, right, or sentence, phrase, whatever, and then they want you to come up again with the equation or the expression. In this case, well, actually, you look at it. Is that going to be an expression or an equation? 3 times a number minus 5. Is that an expression or an equation? You bet it's an expression, because 3 times a number, we don't know what the number is. There it is, 3n, 3 times a number, minus 5, we got to take away 5. So there is our expression for this phrase. Okay, let's look at another one. Here's another type of diagram you're going to see quite often, and it's integer tiles, or what are they? Algebra tiles, sorry, algebra tiles. And always pay attention to whatever information they give you about it. So right here in this little bubble, this is from the McGraw-Hill Ryerson textbook, Math MathLink 7. It's definitely not my stuff. Anyways, they indicate, okay, the green X, that represents our variable. The red tiles, each one single red tile is a +1, and each single white tile is a -1. Okay, and then when you look at these tiles, hopefully you can pull it together and come up with either an expression or an equation. Now, can you look at this right here, please, and tell me, is this going to be an equation or an expression? You bet it's going to be an equation, because what do we have right here? We have an equal sign. That means we have expression over here, expression over here. Altogether, we have an equation. So we have 3 variables right there. So that means we have 3x, and then we have 2 positives. So that's +2. And we've got our equal sign. And then over here is pretty easy, because all we got to do is count up the red tiles, and we get a +11. So there's your +11. So 3x plus 2 equals +11. All right. What do we got here? Okay, let's do 2 more examples here real quick. So here's another description, right? 4 times a number minus 5 equals 7. And I want you to go right to B. Is this an expression or an equation? 4 times a number minus 5 equals 7. It is an equation, and it's an equation because we have the word equals right in there. So 4 times a number, we don't know what the number is. We have 4 times some number. I'm putting n, it could be x, could be p, could be whatever, right? So 4 times a number minus 5. So we subtract 5 equals 7. There you have it. 4 times a number minus 5 equals 7. Okay, that's how that rolls. So remember, over here, 7, that's an expression all by itself. 4n minus 5 is also an expression all by itself. Okay, last one. This is an algebra tiles example. So, again, I'm going to go right to B here. Let's cut to the chase. So take a look at this. Remember, don't forget the instructions over here, right? So look at that diagram. Pause it if you want to take a second here, see if you get it right. And I want you to tell me, is it an expression or an equation? Yes, it is an equation because we have the equal sign. That means both sides are completely equal. Now, I want you to, again, pause it if you want to have a little moment here to figure it out. What is the equation? How would you write out the equation? Okay, I'm going to solve it here. So pause if you want another moment. So we have one x, so one variable. So that is, you can write it 1x, or you can simply just call it x. Okay, most of the time, almost always, it's going to be written just as an x. That means there's one of them. Okay. Anyways, so x, and then we have 3 white tiles. White tiles are a -1 each. So that means we have x minus 3, because there's 3 of them, equals, and what do we have here? It's 4 positive, so it equals 4. X minus 3 equals 4. That is your equation. This side is completely equal to this side, so that means x must equal 7. But we'll get to that later. All right, that should do it.